Hey y'all. So I felt like being a little bit nostalgic tonight. For once, it's not about comic books or customer service or what have you. I am contemplating watching a couple series or parts of series anyway, that actually meant a lot to me when I was at a very, we'll say, sensitive moment in my life. Much like anybody, high school. There were a couple shows that really, really got to me, that really helped me realize a couple different aspects of myself that were okay to have. Um, so I should probably explain. I I grew up in a small little country farming town in eastern Washington. Those of you who know me know where that is, and we'll just say that. Um, it wasn't exactly the most welcoming to people who were different. People who expressed any kind of individual attitude or a different sense of style, or in some cases, even had the wrong skin tone. Or in my case, had the wrong sexuality. So I actually did not come out until about halfway through my senior year. And even then, it was kind of, I did the whole, oh, I'm bisexual thing because I thought that would be more acceptable. I can't talk today, than being, just full on gay, which I am. I did have many girlfriends in junior high and high school, but you know how that goes. I mean, everybody does, but I never did anything sexually with them. So yes, I am in fact a gold star gay. For more info on that, Google it, or I may feel like getting to that later. Anyway, so I'm also, like I said before, I'm a bit of an artist. I've been drawing since I could pick up crayons. It's something I'm really into. It's a lot of fun, and I had one of those kind of a sarcastic, sharp wits at times, especially when I was in high school. It seemed because I did some really, really snarky things, which admittedly got my ass beat quite a few times. Um, but a lot of times I, was beat just because I was there, or because I was gay, or because I had long hair, or had a medicine bag around my neck, or who knows. It was it was Eastern Washington in the 90s, and yeah, it was definitely a different time. Um, so anyway, so what I felt like watching tonight, which I'm still kind of in the air about which one I really want to watch because I loved them both. There were two things. The first one, Daria. Love this. Um, Smart, sarcastic woman with her best friend who's the artist. And if you knew me at all in high school, you knew this is exactly the kind of people that I hung out with. See, there's Jane, which is her best friend, Trent, Jane's brother, Brittany, this airhead, Kevin. Yeah, there's just all kinds of characters. Anyway, so Daria, I loved. She stemmed from Beavis and Butthead, which was for some odd reason it was very, very popular. Um, Even though they mostly went around going and weird stuff like that, and just did some of the dumbest things. Daria was an intelligent person who made being an outcast pretty cool, especially for me because I was often feeling like an outcast because of who I was and what I was and just who I hung out with and all that stuff. Anyway, the other one, which really stuck to me, which I loved, which was also from the 90s, um, was My So Called Life. Now, this series had one of the first openly gay characters that I saw, Ricky. He was played by Wilson Cruz. Very out and proud, outspoken actor today. He actually, his character and his portrayal of that character helped me realize that I could be out and I could be with people who cared about me, regardless of what happened. Um, and I realized that it would be okay. It would be okay to be me. It'd be okay to be whoever, or however I was, because in the end of the day, what really mattered was how I felt about myself, and that's what I took from this show. I mean, not just Ricky's portrayal, but Angela's portrayal, because she was dealing with a lot of, teenage angst. Everything from, her crush on Jared Leto's character, to her best friend, and then her other best friend. Her original best friend, and then, her newer best friend. Everybody. Rayanne was her newer best friend. Sorry, I had a brain freeze there. Everybody in that character I could relate to at some point. In those shows. At least the teenagers at the time. Now being an adult and 40, I can kind of relate to the parents, all the adults in the show, because of course I'm now seeing things from their point of view and all that fun stuff. Yeah. So deciding between these two is kind of difficult. I may just do a little bit of one, a little bit of the other. Who knows? But I just had to point out that those shows, if you ever get a chance to watch them, if you haven't watched them yet, Daria was on for several seasons. It was great. Has a couple movies. This thing here has all this, the entire series plus the movies. I think I got it on Amazon. I think, but there's a few other places you can buy it, and it's a great deal if you can get it. It's a great series. You won't be disappointed. This, sadly, was only on for one season. Everybody that I knew that liked this show, or at least was into it at all, was pissed when it got canceled. It left us with a lot of unanswered questions, and I really would have liked to have seen what happened with all the characters. Especially, Wilson Cruz's character, Ricky. Because, again, he was like a major influence on me at the time. And that's something that, was hard to find, for me back then, because, all the characters that I saw on TV or movies were either super, super, super macho straight, or total freaks, people on Screech on Saved by the Bell. He was like a total freak, and I knew that I was a geek kind of like him, but not that awkward, creepy, weird geek and over the top nerd. Which I know those terms are not the most acceptable, but I wasn't going out of my way to be, at least in my eyes, this total, spastic kind of person. I did my own thing, and oftentimes people thought I was weird. One person even said they were afraid that I was going to come in and shoot up the school because I was so quiet and so broody and stuck in my art and my books so much that I really didn't, connect with a lot of people the way I could have or should have. But I had realized when I was 11 that I was gay, and I kept that to myself as best I could. Even with the girlfriends and, all these other people that, all my close friends. Later on, a lot of them were like, oh, we kind of knew all along. We just figured you didn't want to talk about it. But, thinking about that, it's you could have talked to me about it. but shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. Again, sorry, I'm rambling and I'm going back on memory lane, and yeah, that's a whole other conversation for all the time. But yeah, again, if you ever get a chance, watch these shows like I'm going to tonight, right after this video. They're great. They're fun in some aspects, but more, I watch them more for the nostalgia of the 90s. Because again, I was a teenager in the 90s, so yeah, actually through the 90s. So that was an interesting time for me. And yeah, I mean, I think you can find My So-Called Life at a lot of places as well. I want to say Amazon or Best Buy. I don't know if Best Buy really has it. I don't even remember where I got this. I want to say it was Amazon as well. But again, yeah, they're both a lot of fun. Oh, and another movie that I don't have, but I want to find again, because I had been lame and I recorded it off. I want to say like Showtime or something like that back in high school. It was a movie with Laura Flynn Boyle, Stephen Baldwin, and Josh Charles, called Threesome. That also was pretty influential to me anyway. I watched it at my friend's house, and I had heard about it, and I asked if it was okay if I recorded it, and I think their family kind of expected or figured out that I was, gay, but again, they didn't talk to me about it. Even when I was lashing out at people and calling other people faggots and, accusing people of, doing gay things, the whole stereotypical point my finger at everyone else, thinking that, no one's going to think it was me who was like that, because I was quick to point everywhere else and make a distraction. But yeah, Threesome was also a great movie for that time. And yeah, and it was also during my Baldwin Brothers phase, so I had to watch any and all things Baldwin Brothers. Stephen Baldwin, Billy Baldwin, Alec Baldwin. Yeah, all of them. Even Daniel Baldwin was kind of cute. But anyway, whole other rant, whole other conversation for another time. Yeah, again, get a chance to watch those. You won't be disappointed. If you have any kind of, intelligence or sense of irony for things, or even just want to laugh at high school, both of these are based in high school. Both are fun. Threesome was based in college, so it's still kind of, there for the time. Sorry for the shakiness. I keep hitting my leg, and that shakes my whole screen. Yeah. So again, watch them. They're great. You won't be disappointed. I'm signing off so I can watch some movies, and you guys have a great evening, great day, whatever time you're watching this, and we'll talk later.